These are the Coen Brothers. Look at them. Just look at them. I don't even have to tell you which one is the most attractive. That's besides the point. But just look at these boys. Oscar nominees and winners. Absolute legend. Look how fresh they are. Trippin'. Anyway, these boys have been making movies since they were very young, which is one of the reasons why they're so good. The brothers have directed movies like Raising Arizona, starring Nicolas Cage, The Big Lebowski, starring Jeff Bridges, True Grit, starring Haley Steinfeld, and Fargo, starring Frances McDormand. I love this movie so much. And then Barton Fink, starring John Turturro. I'm not even going to try and pronounce his name. And No Country for Old Men, starring Javier Bardem. This movie has won 8 Oscars. Now, what makes a successful director? Well, these brothers could tell you, it's all about grit. True grit. That wasn't funny. Well, to make a successful career in movie directing, you gotta have skill. Now, how do we know these guys have skill? At all?
This county when I was 25 years old. Hard to believe. Grandfather was a lawman. Father, too. Me and him were sheriffs at the same time, him up in Plano and me out here. I think he's pretty proud of that. I know I was. Some of the old-time sheriffs never even wore a gun. A lot of folks find that hard to believe. Jim Scarborough never carried one. That's the younger Jim. Gaston Borkins wouldn't wear one up in Comanche County. I always like to hear about the old-timers. Never missed a chance to do so. You can't help but compare yourself against the old-timers. Can't help but wonder how they'd have operated these times. There's this boy I sent to the electric chair at Huntsville here a while back. My arrest and my testimony. He killed a 14-year-old girl. Papers said it was a crime of passion, but he told me there wasn't any passion to it. Told me that he'd been planning to kill somebody for about as long as he could remember. Said if they turned him out, he'd do it again. Said he knew he was going to hell. Be there in about 15 minutes. I don't know what to make of that. I surely don't. The crime you see now, it's hard to even take its measure. It's not that I'm afraid of it. I always knew you had to be willing to die to even do this job. But I don't want to push my chips forward and go out and meet something I don't understand. A man would have to put his soul at hazard. You'd have to say, okay. I'll be part of this world.
Now let's analyze this real quick. What did all these shots tell us? Well, these were beautiful landscape shots that showed us the setting of the area we're in, and somewhat the year we're in because of the age of those cars in that scene. It seems like the 70s, right? Well, this was the beginning of the movie, clearly, and even if you've never seen the movie before and only that scene, you would know that. You could at least assume. That is because of the dawn into the day and the sun rising. These shots also gave the narrator enough time to say what he had to say. None of those shots told the story except for where we left off at the end of that scene. Now, the beautiful thing about Coen Brothers movies is that they won't always tell you the exact setting the movie is in. Sometimes the movie goes a long way through before they even show you what year or place the film is set in. And maybe later in that movie you learn what year it is or what place. For example, in this scene.
You know what date is on this coin?
No.
1958. It's been traveling 22 years to get here. And now it's here. And it's either heads or tails. And you have to say, call it.
Now that was a slick way of telling us what year the movie takes place. Another signature of the Coen Brothers would be the reverse dialogue scenes. When one person is talking, the camera is where the other person is, and vice versa. A reverse dialogue scene, well, here's an example.
Yeah, Yeah, we both did. She went to college, too.
I went to Normandale for about a year and a half.
Yeah, that's where we met.
But I dropped out, though.
Yeah, she dropped.
Yeah.
So where you girls from?
Chaska.
Le Sueur. But I went to high school in White Bear Lake. Go Bears.
Okay. I want you to tell me what these fellas looked like.
Well, the little guy, he was kind of funny looking.
In what way?
I don't know, just funny looking.
Can you be any more specific?
I couldn't really say. He wasn't circumcised.
We sat right here in this room and went over this and over this.
Yeah, but that true coat.
I sat right here and said I didn't want any true coat.
Yeah, but I'm saying that true coat, you don't get it. You get oxidation problems. It'll cost you a heck of a lot more than $500.
You're sitting there, you're talking in circles, you're talking like we didn't go over this already.
Yeah, but this true coat.
We had a deal here for $19,500. You sat there and darned if you didn't tell me you'd get me this car, these options, without the sealant for $19,500.
All right, I'm not saying I didn't.
You called me 20 minutes ago and said you had it ready to make delivery. It says, come on down and get it. And here you are, and you're wasting my time and my wife's time, and I'm paying $19,500 for this vehicle here.
All right. I'll talk to my boss. See, they install that true coat at the factory. There's nothing we can do. But I'll talk to my boss.
Now, as you can see, no matter where they are in the shot, there's that reverse shot dialogue. The brothers and Roger Deakins, their cinematographer, make sure they are not filming a dialogue scene like this, zoomed in close where the camera's probably further away, but more like this, where the camera is up close but not zoomed in at all. Now, it's no wonder the Coen Brothers have received 5 Oscars. That's more than the highest grossing director of all time, Steven Spielberg. You know, I think these brothers are a little underrated for their skill at writing and directing, because it isn't just their directing, but their writing too. Just look at this.
They announced it.
They announced it.
Yeah,
So?
3-cent stamp.
You're Mallard?
Yeah,
That's terrific.
it's just a 3 cent.
It's terrific.
Hoffman's Blue Wing Teal got the 29-cent. People don't much use the 3 cent.
Oh, for peace sake, of course they do. Whenever they raise the postage, people need the little stamps.
Yeah?
When they're stuck with a bunch of the old ones.
Yeah. I guess.
It's terrific. I'm so proud of you, Norm. Heck, Norm, you know, we're doing pretty good.
I love you, Margie.
I love you, Norm.
2 more months.
2 more months.
Now, ain't that grand? The dialogue had absolutely nothing to do with the story, but everything to do with character building, which is always there in their movies and is always prominent. Now, that's all I have to show you fellas today. Thank you very much, and take care.